Exit the Gungeon is sort of a remix of 2019's transcendent roguelike Enter The Gungeon. It has all the same notes, but this time around it's a platformer instead of a top-down shooter. You'll still collect hundreds of ridiculous guns, unlock all sorts of secrets, and dodge tens of thousands of bullets, sometimes seemingly all at once. But instead of exploring a labyrinthian maze, you'll spend most of your time crammed in a small elevator shaft on each level, with less than ideal control of your weapons. The result isn't entirely cohesive, but it's still fun as hell. Thanks to a blessing you receive at the beginning of each run, your gun transforms several times every minute. 1 second you're wreaking havoc with a frog blowing bubbles, the next it's a tentacle that squeezes enemies to death. And the next, you've got a nail gun that exists just to make sure you know how good you had it with the frog. It's great to have a lot of guns. The problem is that there's a variety of guns that aren't just bad, they're nearly unusable. The charged shot weapons, like the blunderbuss, really don't gel with the fast-paced combat. These guns require you to hold the trigger for around a second before shooting, and that's a lifetime in the Gungeon, sometimes literally. With a delay like that, the final boss can kill you before you get more than a couple of shots off, ending a 35-minute run. And waiting for a new gun can leave you stuck with something even worse. But despite the intrinsic unfairness of random gun swapping, it's kind of fun. Sometimes you're lucky, sometimes you aren't. There's a sort of harmony to the design, like Exit the Gungeon is telling you, hey, if you can't survive with a nail gun, you shouldn't be here at all. And that's enough of a challenge to warrant working to become hyper-focused on placement and dodges, or resisting the little power-ups that traipse around the screen trying to seduce you out of cover. When things get hairy, and they do often, you've got to focus exclusively on your character, shoot in the general direction of the enemy, and dodge like a bandit. And of course, if you can avoid getting hit, you'll survive no matter what gun you have. The more you hit enemies without getting hit, the more your combo meter increases. Supposedly, the higher this combo meter goes, the more likely you are to receive high-quality guns, but it never seems to make much of a difference. Great guns, like the Predator, appear at low levels, and bad ones, like the nail gun, show up at high levels. That said, it's a little comforting to know that even in a bad run, you still have a chance at a comeback. Combo is definitely useful either way, because if you know you're about to get hit, you can use one of your limited blanks to clear all the bullets on screen at the cost of reducing your combo meter. That's still a lot better than getting hit, which loses you health and drops your meter back to 1. At the end of each of Exit the Gungeon's 5 levels, you'll encounter one of 13 goofily designed bosses. These characters' looks belie just how badly they're likely to kick your ass the first few times you face them. But after several rounds, you'll begin to recognize that what first seemed to be an impenetrable wall of bullets is just another easy-to-dodge attack. Beating a boss flawlessly doesn't just feel good, it's recognized with an additional heart and extra hegemony credits. Those are the currency you use between games while you're back in the safe hub known as the Breach. Here you can switch between characters for different passive abilities and room orders, talk to NPCs, and, critically, buy new items and guns. Unlock enough of the inventory and you'll undoubtedly have some very powerful builds, and those can be the difference between a completed run and an embarrassing clunker. And that means every failure inches you just a bit closer to success. Or hey, you can always buy new hats with your credits too. It took nearly 40 attempts to finally exit the Gungeon, and despite some underpowered weapons and an ineffective combo system, it's an enthralling platforming roguelite challenge. The urge to finish a run with every character, unlock all the NPCs, and try out each and every gun gives it some legs. For more on Exit the Gungeon, check out the first 9 minutes of gameplay on Switch and our Enter the Gungeon review. And for everything else, stick with us right here at IGN.